Just another day in America, Brandon.
I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm not even going to bring it up. I'm not acknowledging it.
Nothing to acknowledge.
And my lack of acknowledging it is acknowledging it.
It's just a love for a country.
God bless.
God bless America.
Well, God bless America. I just paid taxes and we did all right.
Well, the good thing about America is if you do taxes right, you don't pay taxes.
I just got reposted on the DraftKings one. Our TikTok went viral on DraftKings.
Oh, is that what I was wondering? Why we were back on draft? Why that was posted on DraftKings? Because that was a little bit ago. That was when did you win money, Brandon?
That was October. Yeah, it was October. So it was a while ago.
That was a good little bit ago. I mean,
life has changed a lot. It was a long time ago. And then, all the comments, they recycle and they're like, oh, this guy's going to be broke in a month. It's like, hey, we got to fast forward. We got to see how this experiment went. I'll never forget. Actually, it was November 5th.
There you go. There you have it.
Legendary.
Man, that was a good night. Are you ever, you're going to name your kid November?
I'm going to name him, Jack Shady Grady. That's going to be the name.
Oof. Especially
if it wasn't for the legendary headbutt and the president of Bare Knuckle tackling his own fighter and beating the shit out of him. I never would have won.
Hey, you got to love it. Little girls named Shady Brady. Perfect.
Well, this is going to be a little bit of a unique show today.
Yeah. So you guys out there in, MMA betting capper land, this card sucks. It's very similar to the last card. The other thing though is there's been so many mix-ups and like fights falling off, and the main event fell off. There's been like 100 different change-ups. Even trying to keep track of it was kind of a pain. So this isn't a capper show, you guys. This isn't a here are our bets, follow us, tail us, we're smart. We're just going to talk about the fights. We're going to talk about the card. Talk about some of the fighters. We might not even touch on both sides of the, of each fighter on something. We're just going to talk. In America, that's land of the free. You say what you want.
We got free speech.
We have freedom of speech. I'm actually wearing this in case you actually want to know. Any of you don't, Brandon, but these other people might, because we actually have a friend who just became an American citizen. And this weekend, which is actually fortunate because I'm not traveling this weekend, she is having a America party. And so we wanted to welcome her properly with Busch Light, Coors Light, and some proper American tire.
Surprised you don't got Bud. You're going to give her Bud.
No. Bud's not American anymore. Haven't you seen all the controversy around Bud and Bud Light?
It's gay, but gays are still American. Gays are probably as American as it gets.
Oh, yeah. But not in redneck land. Redneck land, like, there's a protest.
Think there's more butt fucking going on in redneck land than anywhere else.
In West Virginia than there is California. Any interesting news? Anything you want to go over before we touch on this card or go on anything?
Not really. Like, I'm starting a golf ball business.
Sounds about right.
A lot of time.
The only thing more American than America is golf in America.
God bless.
So tell us about that.
Well, we're just going to be buying balls and washing them and reselling them. It's okay. Simple pays the bills. Other than that, I can't think of much. Usually I have a little like a monologue or something that I could share or like rant about. And today I don't know. I'm just not feeling it today.
Really? No. Hey. Not every day is a amp day.
Yeah, true.
You can't
always. What you got
perform.
going on?
Always projects. Next week we've got, it's kind of crazy. Kendall's actually home for the night. My wife, she's gone the whole rest. She was gone Monday morning. Flight left at 5 a.m. to San Francisco for work. Came back tonight, leaves tomorrow. She's gone pretty much all week. And then next week she's gone the entire week. And next week, that's a bit of a pickle because I am in Jersey with Henry Cejudo, who is fighting Aljo for the title. So nothing big going on over here, just title fights and single parenting.
Man, what a crazy card that's going to be.
Yeah, I'm glad they added the Gilbert Burns Bilal fight?
So I was at dinner last night with one of my friends, and he's actually, you know, on the Patreon, on the Discord, everything like that. And he was like, "Yeah, I listened to the Bilal interview with Joe Rogan, and he was talking to this kid in Vegas, and he was talking about pass posting and lines and algorithms and winning all this money. He's like, I think gambling can be pretty profitable." And my friend was like, "Hey, that sounds like somebody that we know." He's talking with conviction. I talked to Bilal that night. That was me he was talking about on Rogan's podcast.
That's funny.
C-Rod invited me to Vegas, and my ankle was broken as hell. I was hobbling all around Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
Got drunk as hell, sitting in the seat, made 60 grand drunk. And then, you know, we're walking around afterwards. We're hanging out with the fighters, the after party, stuff like that. So we walk up to Bilal, and C-Rod just goes, "Hey, what's up, Bilal? It's good to see you. Long time no see." He goes, "Did you know this kid bet against you when he fought Sean Brady?" What the fuck is your problem, man? My first time meeting him, this is what you're going to say?
Oh, man. Is he in town?
No, he's crazy, this guy.
I thought he was in town.
No, he was supposed to come, but he was supposed to come tomorrow, but he's scared, I guess.
C-Rod, don't be scared, homie.
Don't be scared, homie.
He actually posted on Twitter. He's like, "Hey, coach, can I finally get a follow back? Like, what do I got to do?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know you were on Twitter."
His Twitter is hilarious. It's like a sad teenage girl all the time. He's tweeting. I would unfollow him. I would go back and actually rescind your follow if you're thinking about it. It's not like fun all and happy and cheery.
Under the age of 25, everybody's super emo at this point.
He's 25. It's time to grow up, C-Rod.
Yeah, he's got another 3 days of that, and then you're out of here, buddy. Man, this card is weird, right? The card kind of sucks. Like, it's not. It was like last week's card. There was a couple bets, a couple weird things, but last week's card was just bad all around. There was bad reffing, bad judging. We didn't even have the C squad of refs for the most part. We had like the Z squad. I mean, it was like the weirdest thing. Letting fights going, stopping fights early. Just, I don't know. Maybe I was just mad because Danaz's fight got stopped. Winning 2 rounds, looked good, and then just death gassed hard. Man, just was really adrenaline out. And man, you can't cheat adrenaline. It's just.
No, there's nothing like that. And we were talking a few weeks ago about the Jacqueline Amorim fight, and I said I would bet that again. And I saw some of the YouTube comments are like, "Dude, this guy's an idiot for saying he would bet it again." Like, there's adrenaline dumps. Adrenaline dumps are real. I remember my first fight ever, like watching it back. You were talking right to my face from 2 feet away, like right to my face, and you're saying, do you understand?" I'm looking at you going, "Yes," and my eyes are glazed over, and I don't understand anything. And it's just like crazy adrenaline. Now you add that to the big stage, the UFC, like, so they described it. I guess Jacqueline the other day described it as like she was having a bad dream, and that bad guys were trying to get her, and she couldn't do anything about it. She couldn't move away or do anything about it. It's like, that's about right. Like, you're forcing your body to try to move, but you can't.
Yeah, it's weird, and you can't cheat it. Like, once that adrenaline hits, like, if you guys have ever, I mean, if you've ever had an adrenaline dump, it's crazy. If you want to fake an adrenaline dump, just go get an EpiPen, shoot yourself up with an EpiPen, and you will be amped, and then you will crash so hard that you cannot function. And I mean, that's pretty much it. So you either do something crazy and wild and have adrenaline dump, or EpiPen it. Don't actually EpiPen it, you guys, because when you die, and you're not going to die from an EpiPen unless you had an allergic reaction. I mean, that's what EpiPens are for, is allergies and stuff, but they're intense. Don't actually do that. But any of you who have actually had a shot of, epinephrine from an allergic reaction, you know what I'm talking about. And
I'm going to get all scientific with the epinephrine. That actually sounds like a good Friday night. I'm going to try it this week.
Go for it. It's a lot of fun until you're asleep. But, yeah, I mean, it's like your body, your legs are 5,000 pounds. You can't move. Everything's slow. Like, you're done. I mean, it's all of it's your body's response, fight or flight. So you need to go crazy fast to like run or get out of whatever it is that you're doing. And then your body's like, all right, I'm spent. And even in the back with Dana, I don't mind talking post fight, but I just remember when we got warming up, we started going in the back when we got to the venue. And first of all, it was kind of a weird thing. We had to report at 10:30 in the morning. So we didn't really have the right time to do the right shakeout and stuff. And it was just kind of weird. But when we started warming up, he was just on. He was just going hard, and even after he pummeled and kind of warmed up with me, Eddie, I was, we're talking. I was like, dude, he's amped, and we got to keep him calm. And he was just swinging and going, and it was too much. We're like, breathe, relax, and you saw him. I mean, he looked good until he didn't. So, what do you do? What do you do?
That sucks. Well, I posted that picture of him. I thought it was hilarious. The one that you posted with like the little knot and stuff. That shit was hilarious. We made it an emoji, and I'm glad at least he looked good until he didn't. Because if he went out there and got steamrolled, I would have been super embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fight game, man. We all, man. I've been embarrassed by, I've been amazed by some of my great performances, and embarrassed by some of my bad performances, man.
Take that, Melvin.
What's that?
Take that, Melvin.
Yeah. Man, this sport is brutal. Let's talk about some of these fights. If you don't want to talk about them, we just move on. But this one I do want to talk about. Hailey Cowan starts the card with Jamie-lyn Horth. Hailey's been trying to fight for a minute now. She had a couple canceled fights. People are missing weight. She had like a ruptured, was it gallstone or something that like ruptured in her stomach and messed her up. And she keeps getting new opponents. I think the opponents keep getting better and better and better in her favor. What's your thought on the Hailey? We've talked about Hailey a few times, and none of her fights have actually happened yet. But then with Jamie-lyn Horth.
Yeah, I actually don't know Jamie-lyn Horth. I was pretty pumped about the reschedule to Mars Vidal. That was going to be the greatest thing in the world for me. And then unfortunately that one got canceled. Why don't you tell me about Jamie-lyn Horth? Because I know where I'm at with Hailey. It's like the 9th time we've talked about her.
So I think she's 5-0. She, man, the biggest thing with her is she looks so slow and clunky that, I mean, Hailey's not overly fast, but she's strong, and everybody talks about how athletic she is, and she is athletic, but she's not like super speedy, fast, dynamic athletic. She's like, more powerful, strong athletic, if that makes sense. And Horth, I really like this fight for her as long as Hailey doesn't death gas. If she doesn't adrenaline herself out, I mean, honestly, I think this is her fight. I think she can bully this girl. I think Horth is really slow, really clunky. And I think honestly, it's funny. We're going to talk about, so we have these two fights right now. And then we have Irina Alekseeva and Stephenie Egger later. And I mean, it's a smart thing to have these two matchups the way that they are. But Hailey Cowan really reminds me a lot of Stephenie Egger physically and even almost ability-wise. I mean, I know they have like a different skill set, but like they're not too far off. And then Irina and Jamie-lyn Horth are almost the same person. I mean, Irina's a judo girl, but man, body type, range, reach, just clunky looking, slow, and just there. But Jamie-lyn Horth, if she just can stay alive long enough for Hailey to death gas, she has this fight. If Hailey doesn't death gas, I mean, I think it's kind of an easy fight for Hailey. Not an easy fight, because I don't know that Hailey has finishing power, or not power, but finishing anything. Like I feel like a lot of her fights are going to be 3-round decisions. So if Jamie-lyn comes on hard in that 3rd round, I could see something happen in there. I think I like Hailey here. I think this is the best fight for her out of the fights that she's been given since she kind of started this process.
Really? Better than Vidal?
Yeah, I think so. Again, the only thing that worries me is this girl won't die, and she just won't like fuck off. And she's not amazing, and she's not athletic. She's not fast. She's an okay grappler. She just won't die. So that's always an issue when you have somebody who kind of gasses a little bit and gets a little adrenaline out.
I don't really think that she gasses that hard, Hailey. She's
Oh,
fought
man,
hard in 3rd rounds before with Brittany Cloudy. She fought hard. Even that last fight, that was a tough fight. She fought pretty hard in that one.
She did, but I thought she gassed pretty hard too. Don't you?
No. Maybe a tad bit. Honestly, she probably didn't win that fight. Claudia Leitch. That was a tough fight though. That chick was tough.
That could have gone the other way. And like I said, I think Hailey should win it, but then Hailey got rocked by that girl who was like 1-2 or whatever it was, and then got submitted in a guillotine
years ago.
No, it was. I'm just saying for as good as we think Hailey is and can be, she still has to prove it. She's still got to show it. She's got to show that was behind her and that's not going to happen again, getting caught and then guillotine. And then she's got to show that, hey, she can jump up to the big show and not death gas, and she can prove it. So,
well, if the UFC is telling you anything, they tell you they want her to win.
Absolutely. And this she's the A side. I think she should win this. But Dinas should have won it too, but he death gassed. So,
all right. Well, then actually, let's talk about that other fight too. That was one that I taped. I kind of like did not tape a ton of these because it's not that I think this is going to be a bad betting card. I don't think there's really such thing as a bad betting card necessarily. You can always find your spots, but this one didn't give me a lot of interest, so I want to spend my time elsewhere. And I'm actually going to Bare Knuckle this weekend.
Are you? Where's that at?
It's in Denver.
Oh, okay.
This is a big one with Chad Mendez and Eddie Alvarez and Luke Rockhold, Mike Perry.
Nice.
Dan Spawn and Chris Camozzi. And
put me in, coach.
God, there's a boxer. Maybe I actually shouldn't say this. Never mind. Yeah, I'm going to the Bare Knuckle in Denver on Saturday.
Nice. Yeah, talking about this fight again, just really quickly. This whole card is. We were talking about this. We wanted to talk and just chat about it, but we didn't want to give people bad advice and bad bets because we didn't do a lot of tape and we didn't want to pawn it off as we did a lot of tape. We just wanted to chat. So I thought it'd be fun.
All right, let's talk about Alekseeva.
Okay, so she.
Well, let me start on this because you're biased as hell. You are obsessed with Stephenie Egger.
No, I don't even mean Stephenie Egger. You just look at Alekseeva. She looks slow in her last fight in Bellator. She's like, it takes her 4 days to throw a punch.
I think she wins easily.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. You're talking about slow Alekseeva. Stephenie Egger as slow as possible, and she was getting worn out by Eileen Perez, like falling over. She's slow. She's like just skin and bones. And this girl Alekseeva, she's 2 inches taller than her. She's a bigger, stronger Stephenie Egger. The Russian Ronda Rousey. You know her judo accolades?
I don't. I know that she's a highly lauded judo player, but I don't know her accolades.
She was like a 4-time silver medalist in the Russian judo nationals. Which, where is judo in Russia? Like, is Russian judo like just below Japan? Where does it rank in the pantheon of judo?
I don't know if judo ranks high anywhere.
Well, in Japan is good.
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know much about Russian judo or judo internationally at all.
Yeah, me neither, because it's kind of bullshit. But either way, they're both judo girls, and one is a little bit bigger and a little bit younger. And Egger actually looked better to me on rewatch than I had thought. But just Eileen Perez, like reversing positions and putting Egger on her back, and Egger just looking so slow and drained and worn out. I'm like, Alekseeva is not good, but she can do a lot of cage pushing, and she's a big, strong Russian woman. Like at plus 250, come on, give me a shot.
Man, see, I just thought she looked horrible. I thought she looked so slow, so unathletic, without a gi on.
She's also fighting a kickboxer, like a Dutch kickboxer.
When?
In that Bellator fight. I mean, you're going to look like that when you, yeah.
Yeah, but even still, like the way that she was trying to get her takedowns with these like outside trips that you should have a gi on, and the only reason it worked is she was going against a kickboxer who was
a lot bigger. She was a lot bigger.
Yes, who was tiny. Like, dude, I am not sold on Alekseeva. I don't think she looks good. I don't think she looks fast. I think I could see Egger actually kind of like kicking and touching and just moving and not clinching a lot and kind of disengaging and winning a bad striking battle, the battle of two bad strikers. And I think Egger.
We got to take the over in this fight for sure. Isn't it a round and a half? Is that what it is?
Oh, this should be over 4.5 rounds. The over on this in this 3-round fight. They're going to be clinched in the back doing nothing for hours.
Just trying foot sweeps on each other.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be boring. Like,
God, does this show that judo's the worst base? It's literally the worst base ever.
It might be the worst base ever. So
like, I love Ronda Rousey. I'm the biggest Ronda fan in the world. How she did so well is so crazy. But her judo was elite, and she could actually move well.
yeah, I don't know. I am not sold on Irina at all.
All right, what else on your mind? What else piquing your attention?
You want to know what piques my attention? So we have Brian Kelleher, Journey Newsom, all right? Which initially I was like, oh, this is a Kelleher fight. His takedowns are decent. He has decent blast double. People shoot. He's got a good guillotine. He does a lot of the right stuff. He throws. He this is he that. I saw on Twitter the line moved pretty hard on this in Journey Newsom's favor, and I want to talk about that. Do you like? Do you
There's
think
only
that
one
sways?
explanation.
What do you think?
It's never been a white. People are catching on.
They know. They listen to the podcast and they know.
They know. I mean, you've never been a white, especially an old white, a 36-year-old white.
But Journey Newsom is 34 as well. So I'm
That's
just
not
saying.
36.
It's not 36. Yep.
What the hell are you trying to say?
36 minus 34 is 2. 36 is more.
2 is more than 1. You know what I mean?
2 is more than 1. Do you like Journey Newsom here?
I would have to refresh my Journey Newsom tape. What I remember, his boxing is decent. His jiu-jitsu is weirdly okay. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu with Ricky Simone and the boys. Yeah, I like Journey. I think he's got skills. The takedown defense is the big deal there. I mean, if he can keep this on the feet, I think it's probably close. I like Boom's style, but it's very big. It's very it's very big. It's like
boom
big,
and bust, boom or bust.
Yeah,
it's
big looping overhands and guillotines, and that's what I'm doing all the time. Man, if he can't get the takedowns going, I feel like Journey outpoints him and wins the striking.
I feel like Journey's boxing is so overrated. It's insane.
I agree with that.
And they always talk about like either his dad was a pro boxer or his and I'm like, dude, your boxing is not amazing.
No, he's a fine MMA striker, but he's not an incredible boxer.
Yeah. Outside of some weird line movement, somebody knows something I don't. I really like Kelleher here. I just do not think Newsom is on the level. And Kelleher is not a world beater, but he's a good solid journeyman and a good solid gatekeeper. I think if Newsom was a little bit better, I think he gets past Kelleher. But Kelleher beats the guys who are at the lower end of the division, and I think Newsom is at that lower end of the division.
All right, let's talk about a couple more, and then we got to get up out of here. Yep. I want to talk about Trey Waters and Josh Quinlan.
Oof, I wanted to hear you talk about that because we know Quinlan the last time, and Trey Waters is what, 7'7", like the dude's huge.
Well, okay, we just Trey Waters just fought like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, something crazy, and I had a really good day that day. I killed the LFA bets. I think I missed one and hit dogs, hit favorites, hit everybody. And Trey freaking Waters, man, he looked horrible. Not that he looks ever horrible. He's got a really slick style and he's clean. He uses really clean striking. The problem that I was having is that he wasn't throwing a lot. And for having really good, I wanted to say he has good distance and range management. And he sees punches coming really well. But every time that Jalen Fuller would throw at him, he really wouldn't move his head out of the way. He looked like he was going to. He looked like he was going to, hit the sway back and counter, but he really wasn't. He would just kind of keep standing there, and then he would get jacked. Like he was getting jacked with straight punches. He kept getting head kicked a million times. He got rocked 10 times and then just one punched him. I like Trey Waters. I think he's got some skills, but from what I've heard from you previously, and then what I'm hearing from the coaches in the room, that Quinlan's a beast. Now his fight film doesn't show the same thing, I believe. Like he got about the easiest fight you could get in Jason Witt. And then he went life or death with Joe Borshig. So what does that leave me with? Am I going to go based off the rumors, or what am I going based off what I'm seeing like actually on the stuff? Now, what I would say is that this is going to be a good matchup for him, because going life or death with Joe Borshig is insanity, but it was also like a grappling heavy kind of fight. It wasn't a stand-up fight, and Trey's not going to offensively grapple is his problem. You know what you're getting. So Quinlan's going to wrestle, and I hear he's decent. He's going to grapple. I hear he's decent.
And he's got fast hands. Fast hands, hits hard.
Yeah, he looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I think people are going to fall in love with this Trey Waters idea. And, I bet him in his last fight. I bet him big. I'm going to go probably Quinlan on this one.
Okay, I was curious on that because I like Quinlan here for what little I kind of seen of Waters, but I like Quinlan. I think he's decent. I don't think he's amazing, but um, he's fast. He's willing to trade. And his defensive wrestling has always been a little suspect, but from what I hear, he's just on tape. But from what I've heard, he's just working wrestling, offensive and defensive. I think he's going to look good here.
Okay. All right. Another one I want to talk about. Is there another one you want to see? I think we should touch on Charles Johnson and Cody Durden a
Oh,
little bit.
that was what I was going to go with. Yeah. Do you want to hear me first?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, you know me, I love Charles Johnson. I mean, we could just stop right there. I think
your outfit says otherwise. Your outfit says you're going to love Cody Durden.
Oh, well, I mean, Durden's family at this point, but so I mean, I think we've seen Charles Johnson 4 times since we've even been doing the show. And I think I have bet him or said to bet him and picked him in all 4 of those fights. And I think I'm 50-50 at this point. Now, I mean, his last fight with Odi Osborne was the worst performance ever. And we heard that he had a lot of bad stuff going on. Camp was bad, this, that. You've said it all the time that his low output, that is the thing that's concerning to you. He really does all the right stuff. He has good cardio, except that last fight, he's known as a cardio machine. And in that last fight, his cardio looked horrible. Like that's what lost him the fight, I thought. But he's kind of always been a cardio machine. He's long, he's tall, he's got a good jab, he moves well, he rolls punches, his jiu-jitsu's good. Like all of the boxes are checked. However, low volume. You know what I mean? He is low volume. And then you look at Durden, who when we first saw him against Gutierrez did not look great. And then, he's won a couple, he's lost a couple. I think he's 2-2 as well, but he lost to Jimmy Flick when he actually caught a head kick, ran him to the ground and kind of triangled himself right there.
Crazy.
That's one of those crazy things that wouldn't happen twice in 20 years. And then you see that he got guillotined by Mokaev, who we now see is really, really good. And then, I mean, he steamrolled Mota in that last fight. And he's got good cardio. He's got the wrestling. And not only the wrestling, where I don't think he's a world beater wrestling. He's a high school level wrestler, okay? But he's a good high school level wrestler. But what he does, and this might even be better than credentials in MMA. You give me a D1 All-American who doesn't really chain wrestle, or a Cody Durden high school wrestler who's pretty good, but he will press and shoot and press and shoot and press and shoot and go, and he's in your face. Durden's cardio and pressure and volume, I think Durden wins this. I think even if he doesn't get Charles Johnson out of there, I think just the volume, and even if he can't take Charles Johnson down, I think his offensively wrestling and pushing Johnson to the cage and being the one initiating all of the actions, and Charles Johnson kind of finding some success here and there when there's a break in the action or when they move. I like Durden here for full America weekend.
Yeah, I have a weird feeling about this fight, and I guess like you, I bet Charles Johnson in every fight. Actually, except for the last one, I went with O'Day. I picked O'Day on the podcast, and I didn't have a rhyme or a reason. Wasn't that the Alexa Grasso card too? And I picked Alexa Grasso, and everyone's like, "You're insane," and I was like, "I don't know, man. I just like a gut feeling." Even last week when we were talking about Ricky Glenn, I can't remember how I said it on the show, but I think I said like, I don't know if I feel great about this one. Like Yagos, like, I don't know. I just was seeing something I didn't like. Yeah, I had a bad feeling in the last Charles Johnson fight, and I agree with you. Cody's just tough neck, tough dude, man. Like he's just in your face. Actually cardio had been his one downfall previously, and man, he just looks like he's just so game to fight now. He's just in there and his cardio is much improved. Man, I don't know. I actually think that you could see a Durden knockout. I've said this time and time again about Charles Johnson is that he's too arrogant for his own good. He's really talented. Mm-hmm. He really is talented. His striking is amazing. His takedown defense, he's working on his submissions. But a lot of times he'll stick his face out there and he's just so arrogant. He thinks he can just, absorb it all, and he gets chinned a lot. Durden, I don't know if Durden's going to have a ton of success taking him down because Charles' takedown defense is good, but pressing the action and swinging bombs at him, I mean, I think he could probably catch Charles. I'm
Yeah.
with you. I think that Cody Durden probably wins this fight. Even just stylistically, right? Like a lot of people thought Zalgas won the fight. This is kind of a similar style, similar fight
Yeah.
with Cody Durden here.
Except I think Durden has a little bit better cardio and a little bit better output
than Zalgas. Yeah, I'm a big Zalgas fan, so let's not
Yeah.
hear the rest of that shade being thrown.
Anything else on this card? We got Quinlan. I'm kind of curious. What do you think about Waldo, Cortes, and
Yeah, that's the one I
Rogerio?
wanted to talk about. I actually just put
Um,
in another play on Waldo. I'm really confused why there's so much love on the Marcos side. Marcos is first of all, can we talk about Muay Thai belts or kickboxing belts?
we shouldn't because they're not a thing unless you're in Brazil.
Okay, well, he is in Brazil or was in Brazil. Yeah, I just think that's so stupid. Like to use that as an accolade, like okay, he's a black belt in kickboxing. Like, what the hell does that mean?
It's not a thing. It's
No,
not a real
he
thing.
yeah, he trains with Artem Levin. Artem Levin is a black belt in kickboxing. That's a glory champion kickboxer. Like, come on. Anyways, yeah, so people are using that as his accolades. Listen, he throws good leg kicks and he's a big power puncher. And I watched that last fight be horrible with Blagoy and do nothing. And every time he does have to work hard, he gets really tired and his output slows. He throws good leg kicks. Give him that. And Waldo eats a lot of leg kicks. Yeah, he needs to fix that. But the thing with Waldo is Waldo can box. Waldo doesn't really show the wear and tear on the leg. Like he troops through it. He's a tough guy and he's got good hands and his volume is pretty crazy. I don't really think this fight's going to be close. And I think Waldo's going to kill it because he's going to throw some leg kicks and then get peppered with 4, 5, 6 punches. And first of all, one thing he's not going to be able to do is breathe, right? When you start getting hit like that, you need to take a second to reset and get out of there and try to breathe. And two, I think he's going to forget about the leg kicks and I think he's going to start throwing hands again. And I don't think that will be as much of a factor. Man, Waldo's got good cardio for a heavyweight, a lot better than Marcos. I think his boxing is cleaner. His head movement, honestly, the way he rolls punches is pretty solid too. I put into play on Salsa Boy, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Okay, I'm looking at the records right now.
I think his fight IQ is bad though. Like Waldo, I think could be so much better than he's actually shown if he was just a little bit smarter.
I think his fight IQ is so bad, and I don't know that he's getting the work that he should. And I mean, all right. So here's the thing: is he went to a decision with Chase Sherman, and then Jared Vanderlei. And Vanderlei, if Vanderlei had just done anything, I mean, those leg kicks were landing. Like, not
Jared can fight 3 rounds.
Look, what's that?
But Jared can fight 3 rounds at a pretty decent clip.
Yeah, and I mean, gosh, Waldo won that fight, but there were some moments in there where you're like, man, if Vanderlei was just a slight bit better, he would win this fight. And then, Chase Sherman is Chase Sherman, where, gosh, I mean, he's just fighting these such low-level guys that it makes you wonder, is he fighting at their level? Does he fight to the level of his opponent? Yes. And is he actually better? Or, I mean, will he beat Rogerio or whatever the hell his name is?
He also beat Thomas Peterson, who is actually good.
Yeah. The thing though with Marcos Rogerio, of course, he just knocked out or dropped and then rear naked choked Orlovsky. But he's losing decisions to Blagoy. I mean, he lost to Romanov, who we know coming in was just a massive human. Man, I don't know. I haven't watched tape on this, so you guys, don't. But just top of my head, I mean, I just can't. I can't get behind Waldo. I'm not big on him. I don't think he's that skilled, and he may even be that skilled. He just doesn't have the fight IQ. Those low kicks. I do love his volume, but even his volume I don't love. I love the jab volume. He throws a lot of jabs and he uses that volume well, and he has good range. It's not like he's throwing a lot of other stuff. It's literally just a jab, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on him. I kind of lean, Rogerio on this. Again, I'm just not sold on Waldo Cortes, and I need to see it. And maybe he's getting better. I mean, he's 9-0. He's the A side here. They want him to win. This is the fight for him. I don't even think Rogerio is that good. I just think I'm not sold on Waldo yet.
All right, where is Waldo? We'll find out on Saturday. There was one more I wanted to chit chat about.
What's that?
Hey, I think there was at least one more I wanted to chit chat about. I mean, we went over Song Yadong
Yeah,
and
we
Ricky.
did that already. Two quick things. Fernando Padilla, and Julian Erosa. I think Erosa wins that. Padilla is so stiff and kind of slow and just right in your face. He is not impressive at all. I mean, Erosa does get hit, and he will get head kicked and stuff, but I think he's just so much faster and better that I really he's probably the A side there. Um, have you watched Padilla at all? Padilla?
I used to know him back in the day. I think I actually bet I had a huge night when I was first starting betting, and I think it had him in it. Let me see if I
Okay.
can find the fight. So I
Um,
knew him, but it's been years since I taped him.
yeah. Quick, just without overthinking it, we just talking here, but I like Erosa there. I also like Rodolfo Vieira over Brundage. I
Yeah,
think,
that's what I was thinking too.
yeah, I think Brundage he
Friend
loves
of the
his
show,
quick.
Cody Brundage.
What's that?
Friend of the show, Cody Brundage.
Friend of the show. But, I think he wants that big fast finish, and when he doesn't get it, I think he kind of panics. And I think Rodolfo is not gonna give him that big fast finish, and he's gonna be there. And then you got to deal with Rodolfo, who's he's had issues before, but I think he wasn't able to take Curtis down. But Chris Curtis' takedown defense is phenomenal, and he also death gassed against Fluffy. But I think he's over that. So does Rodolfo make it to the top 10? Probably not. But I think he's good. I think he's solid. I think Brundage is going to have to catch him and clip him early in round one, and I think Rodolfo here is going to
Yeah,
win
I
this.
think his striking is actually so much better than Cody's too.
Yeah.
We talked about Cody. It's like first of all, Cody thinks that I hate him, and I don't hate him at all. Like when Vanessa went to Factory X, first thing he was saying was like, "Why does that guy hate me?" I was like, "I don't hate Cody Brundage at all. I think he does too much. His striking, he's trying to do too much without actually doing much of anything." And you watch Rodolfo, and Rodolfo's got that kind of karate style, but he has an awesome jab, a really snappy, really clean jab. It's clean punches, it's straight punches. He keeps it to high, tight guard. Like I like a lot of things that Rodolfo does. Now the Fluffy fight really sucked for everybody. That was at the time I was like, yeah, we got to parlay him 100%. And that was the only leg that lost, of course. But you're right. I think he's figured it out. And honestly, I was pretty impressed with the pace that he kept in the Chris Curtis fight. One thing
I
that we
wouldn't be
talked about.
surprised to see actually a Rodolfo knockout.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Yep.
I mean, we've talked about this a lot. Brundage is a college wrestler that will jump on guillotines and play off his back. Like he's going for submissions all the time and just making little mistakes, going for submissions. Now, you want to try that against Rodolfo, especially if you can't knock him out. Chris Curtis couldn't knock him out. Chris Curtis hits like a truck and has amazing counterpunching in boxing. Like, what is Brundage going to do here?
Yeah.
You want to engage grappling with this guy?
All right. We'll just run through really quickly. Quick. Borralho, Michal, Oleksieiczuk. Do you gotta?
I know everybody in the world's on Caoi. I think it's a good decision probably because he is very good. He is very talented, striking just as much as grappling. I mean, he doesn't really have a ton of holes in his game. But Lord Michael, man, he hits like a truck. He is right there in the pocket, and it's a really like awkward like cadence that he has. Like he kind of boom, bubbles in, pop, 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 crazy big punches. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like if you told me the results of the fight and I didn't watch it, and you said, "Yeah, Michael Oleksieiczuk knocked him out," I'd be like, "Understand it. I totally get it." But I'm sure Kyle probably cruises, grapples here, forces him to, forces him to play off his back, and ends up probably getting a choke.
Yeah, I think Caio's athleticism and speed is going to give Lord Michael some issues. So
that's it.
Anything else
That was
before we take off?
No, that's it. Hey, if you guys want to sell, well, first of all, if you guys are in Colorado and you're going to go to the bare knuckle event, come find me, come say hi. That would be fun. Going to chill out there. And if you guys have golf balls for me, like if you go like deep sea diving for some golf balls, DM me. I'm gonna buy them.
Hey, if you guys are in Newark, hit me up, DM me. We're gonna go, win another title.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I'm excited. That card we're gonna do really well. That card will break down good, but I'm excited.
All right, guys. Have fun. Like I said, we're just kind of, take everything we're saying today with a grain of salt. We're just kind of chatting about these cards, a little bit of our ideas and opinions without really, we're not picking anything on this card. We're just talking about it. So next week though, it'll be solid. I want to spend the time to really tape next week, to really put it in. Next week will be a good one.
Let's put it in. All right, guys. Thanks. Good night.
America.